Welcome back to the Optimized Career Solutions YouTube channel. I am Dennison and it is 2024. Can you believe it? I am so excited. And in this January, Optimized Career Solutions with our podcast, Career Advancement Academy podcast, and this YouTube channel, we are helping you embrace new beginnings in your career by getting you set and prepared to execute a strategic and authentic job search if that's something that you're looking to do, and if not, to advance your career by being prepared in this new year. So this week, if you have not yet checked it out, check out our Career Advancement Academy podcast anywhere where you get your podcast streamed, and or on our YouTube channel right here. You can check out the episode that we launched yesterday where we are helping you develop your personal branding framework that your competition is using to land your dream job. You definitely want to make sure that you check it out. Last week, we talked all about resume tips to make sure that you are optimizing your resume to hit that job market, to make sure that you're landing your dream job, starting your career advancement if this is something that is on your bucket list for this year. And in last week's video, I talked about your unique value proposition. And we're going to be talking about at least 10 tips on how to develop an authentic personal brand from scratch, leveraging your unique value proposition in this video. So make sure that if you haven't yet, you're subscribed to our YouTube channel so that you're not missing out on these high value videos, to make sure that you're taking your career into your own hands and empowering yourself and advancing your career. This week, like I said, we're defining your unique value proposition. And what is your unique value proposition? Well, your unique value proposition is what makes you unique and different in your field by combining your skills, experiences, and personal qualities to differentiate you from your competition. How and why are we going to want to do this? Well, if you're in a job search, you want to make sure that you're standing out from the crowd. And if you're in your current role and advancing in your career is important to you, you're going to want to make sure that you are highlighting your skills, your experiences, your personal qualities, your strengths, and what makes you different so that you can continue to advance. And in fact, in this day and age, having an authentic personal brand is super important, because as social media continues to increase, TikTok continues to increase, and as of last year, Merriam-Webster defined authentic as its 2023 word of the year. So having an authentic personal brand and curating this and really investing in your personal brand, letting that authentic version of you shine both in your personal and professional life, is only going to really enhance you as an individual, enhance your career, and allow you to advance in your career as you continue to grow. Whereas other people, who are not really sure what their brand is, aren't sure how to be authentic, aren't sure how to curate this personal and professional brand, they might be the ones falling behind as you are continuing to outshine your competition. So how are we going to do this? Ensure that clarity and alignment are infused into your UVP, your unique value proposition. So how do we do this? Well, first and foremost, you're going to want to reflect. You want to get self-aware. You're going to want to make sure that you're reflecting on your strengths and assess them. What skills and talents do you possess that are particularly strong and unique compared to your peers? What are the ones that really you are going to highlight? When they ask for someone who has your strengths, you're the one that raises your hand and you're like, I'm really, really good at it. Okay. Next, you're going to want to analyze your past successes. Look at those past achievements. Pull out that resume. Pull out that kudos folder that I'm constantly preaching to have. Right? Identify common themes. What are you great at achieving? What types of results are you a master at getting? What have you done that has received high praise over and over again or has had significant impact? Right? Look for those common themes and get that curiosity mindset on when it comes to analyzing yourself and what you've done throughout your career. Next, after you've reflected on your strengths, you've analyzed past successes, next I want you to consider your passions. What are you most passionate about? right? Often when we are most passionate, that can lead us to our UVP. In fact, I have this exercise that I use to help people define what that path forward is in a job search. And what we actually do is we create a list in 3 different columns. In that one column, we have you list out what you are exceptionally great at. What do people come to you for? What are your strengths? What are your skills? What are you known as a subject matter expert in? And then on the column on the right, we have you list out what do you love to do? What do you wake up every day going into work getting excited to do? And then in the middle column, we actually have you put together the crossover. What are you really good at and what do you love to do? Because that's where the secret sauce comes in. Just because you're really good at something, if you really hate it, it doesn't mean that it's something that's going to be sustainable for you in advancing your career. Because we've talked about grit in another one of these episodes back in December. Grit is where determination and passion meet, right? And if you don't have that passion, it's not going to go very far. You're going to experience some of that burnout, right? So we have now reflected on some of our strengths. What are we really, really good at? And analyze some of our successes. What have we blown out of the water? And what are we really passionate about? Next, we got to identify some market needs, right? Research the needs and challenges in your industry. How do your skills and experiences address those needs specifically? You might be super passionate about anthropology, but there's 400,000 anthropology students graduating this year and only 300 anthropology jobs opening this year. That's a huge mismatch, right? And so if we can identify your market needs and identify if there's a blue ocean, which means that there's a market of opportunity out there where your skill set, your strengths, your passions can actually meet a need, then you're golden, right? But if you're going to be specialized in underwater basket weaving, right, which there's not really that much of a need for, then it might be a little bit harder of an uphill battle. So we want to really make sure that, hey, is it really out there? Am I going to be able to meet a need? Can I get opportunities with this? How do we help with that? Well, we're going to seek external feedback, right? Ask your mentors, ask your colleagues, ask clients, ask past bosses, ask people that you really trust. And a good way to figure out who you really trust is if you would not ask for their criticism, then don't ask for their advice, okay? So really seek out feedback and perspective on what makes you stand out. Sometimes the people that we can really trust, love, and who can see us for who we are, they can see strengths that maybe we can overlook, that we don't see inside of ourselves, right? Next, evaluate your experience, right? Consider your professional journey. Take a look at the companies that you worked for in the past. What unique experiences have you had that provide a different perspective and a different set of skills that maybe others don't? Have you implemented big systems? Have you gone through a merger and acquisition? Maybe you've even gone through a layoff that others haven't experienced. Maybe you've worked for a unique type of company that others haven't. That can be considered a strength because you're adaptable, right? So evaluate your experience and consider what types of experience have actually made you a little bit more unique and different from others. Next, spot some trends and gaps. Look for trends in your industry. Identify any gaps. Who's not meeting those gaps? And if you could meet it with your unique experience, value, etc., how can your skills and experience fill some of those gaps? And what are some of those industry trends that you can actually match with, right? Other ways to help with your UVP and identifying that is defining your personal style, right? And not just what the clothes are wearing, but that could help too. But think about your style of communicating, your style of working. How does it differentiate you from others? Are you more strategic? Are you more innovative? Are you more creative? Do you like working in groups? Do you like working individually? Do you like working remotely? There are some people who love working in the office because they love that brainstorming. I'm one of those types of people that I love being able to brainstorm with people and then get alone to be able to enhance that those ideas, but let my brain think creatively and innovatively in an alone setting, right? So being able to really be self-aware to think about what is your style? What types of environments do you work best in? Do you need an office? Do you need a cubicle? Do you like those co-working situations? Do you need to be remote? Those types of things. And when it comes to communicating, are you a little bit more sensitive? Do you like the brainstorming? Do you need the one-on-one, or do big groups work for you? Those types of things too, right? Other things to consider are your unique education and training, specialization training, certifications, classes, even the things that you are watching on YouTube to train yourself in different specific areas and skills. Reflect on those formal and informal education and training experiences. How does that educational background contribute to your unique approach at work? Right? What are those types of things that you have learned in a formal or informal setting, and how does it apply to your career and your personal style, right? Analyze your network and relationships. This is a great way to figure out a little bit more about yourself. Your professional network and relationships can also be a part of that UVP. How do your connections add value to what you offer? Right? Do you find that you are actually connected to a lot of people that you went to school with that are now in more of the finance industry? Do you find that they're now working at Fortune 500s or exciting startups, right? So all of these things now play into your unique value, because you can now change a little bit of your value proposition based on those relationships as well. Other things to look at are your hobbies and your interests. Sometimes those hobbies and interests can influence your professional UVP as well. Do those personal interests give you a unique edge in your field? For instance, if you are a big sports fanatic, that can also change how you communicate with your team. Maybe you use sports metaphors in your communication style in order to get a point across, right? So those types of things are going to affect who you align with, who you collaborate better with. You might get along well with people who are great in sports or like that team dynamic, and might not get along great with introverts or people who don't understand sports. Just things to think about, right? Not good or bad, just different. And that's what we're trying to define here. Also, things to think about are your problem solving approach. How do you approach challenges and problems? Do you like to verbally process it? Do you need to write things down? Your method might be unique and valuable compared to your competition, right? Or compared to the teams that you're going after. Other things to think about are your cultural and global perspectives. If you have a multicultural background or global experience, this can also influence your work perspective, your approaches, and your innovative thinking, right? Are you someone who regularly thinks outside of the box? Do you like to bring new ideas to the table? Do you like to F around and find out to learn the lessons? Or are you the one who likes to be cautious, right? That's the types of things that are going to play into your UVP, right? Authenticity is going to be that critical factor as well. Again, if you like to use sports reference to explain a sales concept, do you connect with people through sharing anecdotes about your industry? Do you geek out about latest trends? Being authentic in your interactions and how you present yourself is really going to be key in showing who you are. That's like the secret sauce that you put on top of all of the key little self-aware things that you've done after this analysis, right? This is how you really build those genuine connections and that trust when you're out networking with people, meeting people, trying to build your career and differentiating yourself. The reason why you want to do this is because you're going to be developing your professional brand, whether it's on your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your online presence, how you interact with people in your new company, your current company, how you interact with people in a personal life, at networking events, as you grow. And what I have found, especially for younger people, is that they're trying to figure out who they are, and they're taking in a lot of this information. They go out, they try and figure out, and what I mean by younger people is just all of us as we grow in younger stages of our lives. We go out we try and figure out new things. We try new jobs. We figure out what works. We figure out what doesn't work. And as we advance in our careers, the ones who struggle in advancing in their careers and want to try and pivot all the times are the ones who haven't done this. They haven't developed their unique value proposition, and they don't know who they are. They lack that self-awareness. They lack that emotional intelligence, and they're easily swayed by the expectations and the words of others. And what tends to happen is they lead into people-pleasing, perfectionism, that minimizing of self in order to try and please other people or try and fit into a box that other people have set. And the problem with that is that a lot of resentment ends up building within your life, within your career, because there's something inside of you that speaks to you, that lights up on fire when your passions are ignited and when you feel accomplished by getting things done that you're really good at, also align with your passions. But when you're in the situation where you're trying to be fit into a box or put into a pretzel situation to either please other people or because it's what you think other people expect of you, but it's not in alignment with who you truly are authentically, a lot of things can happen. Burnout, resentment, anger, frustration, and just a lack of joy and authenticity in your life. And what I want for you this year, in this new year, is I want you to really figure out, who are you? What makes me different? What makes me unique and authentic to who I am? And how can I find a role and a company that will value that? Because that truly is possible out there. And the people who truly advance in their career in this day and age, with the rise of AI and technology and social media and the internet, is by differentiating yourself and making yourself a unique value proposition and a unique brand out there in the job market. And it's not that hard to do. It is just going to take a little bit of work and self-reflection and getting that external feedback from people that you trust to really figure out what makes you you, what makes you unique, and what makes you valuable in the current marketplace. And it's not too hard. As you can see with these few tips and these questions that you can ask yourself, not only are you going to figure out what differentiates yourself, but you're going to increase your self-awareness and your emotional intelligence in how you are you and how you interact with the people around you. I'm really excited to hear a little bit about what is your unique value proposition. Let me know in the comments so that I can learn a little bit more about you. We're going to be talking a little bit in the next couple of weeks about how you can use your unique value proposition in your LinkedIn profile, in networking, and how you can leverage this information in order to advance your career. I want to know a little bit about what you discovered about yourself in the comments, so let me know, comment below, and I come back and I read all of these comments because I want to hear a little bit about what you're learning about yourself and how that's going to apply to your career. I can't wait to hear. Stay tuned for next week when we learn a little bit about how we can leverage this for networking. I know it's scary, but in this new year, you're not going to be scared when it comes to advancing your career. Make sure that you're subscribed to the Optimized Career Solutions YouTube channel. We come at you every week with a Career Advancement Academy podcast episode every Wednesday and an episode with me every Thursday. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Be well.